next thing you need to know is how to get market data, right? So right now you're connected. You got to be connected to get it in the first place. So for example, so you go File, you go New Chart, and right here you got list of default symbols. You might not have them here. You might not have them here. If you don't have them there, or you don't have some symbols that you don't, or you don't have the symbols that you want, you go to your instrument manager and you type your symbol name here. I don't know, 6C, and it will actually go ahead and well, I don't know why I didn't find it. So basically, it will actually go ahead and so there it is. It will show up, and then you just add it with these arrows, right? So add an instrument to the default list, and that's how you add it. Okay. So that's if you don't have the required symbols right there. Now, if you, for some reason, sometimes these things go corrupt, and sometimes if like your symbols don't load for some reason, you can't get data, or you're getting data and it's weird, that can happen. You go to your options data tab and you reset your instruments. So basically do that if for some reason you can't load any data for, and or it gives you some weird messages when you're trying to load a chart. Okay, so right now if I go chart, and let me just open S&P. So when I double click it, it adds right here, and right now I got an option to select the type. So I'm just gonna go for minute bars and 60 minute. I'm gonna select, well, 50 days, and that's about like all you gotta know. All right, so this tab you see here is actually the same tab that you can access right clicking the chart and going data series, right? So if you go data series, you are able to see whatever like all the same data. Okay, now there are a couple of things that you want to know. Like here is the color of executions, buy and sell. I prefer to put like green and yellow, oh sorry, green and red, and also plotting executions, text and markers only, or do not plot. So basically, if you put text and marker, that will say how many lots you bought, and also write your entry signal. But we'll get to that later when we get to strategies. But just you'll most probably go to this part here, and this part here, chart style. Well, you can go for like basically that's something else, right? Now, so this is about it. So this is how you get your chart data. That's all you need to know for right now. And the last thing that should be said here, so once you got your chart, you can put indicators on it. You got a bunch of indicators that are there by default with Ninja. Those indicators are actually, if you go to documents, NinjaTrader 7, you have to go to bin custom indicator. So that's all the indicators that you actually see right here, right in this list. This is the code, this is the files that represent your indicators, and the default ones that Ninja's got are actually pre-marked with an @ sign. Yeah, there they are. So these are the default ones that will actually come in with Ninja. All right, and right now when you are connected to the market, you have access to strategies, and these are your strategies. And so basically what happens right now is if you go to custom folder and you actually go to your strategy folder, that's where your strategies exist, and the same sample strategies come prefixed with this @ sign, and all the rest are your custom strategies that you coded, and any strategies you code you actually put in this folder. Okay, but we'll get to that. But so right now you're kind of aware of the infrastructure of this chart, right? And so basically, if I double click on an indicator, the indicator settings open up. So anytime I add an indicator, I actually have these parameters of an indicator to work with, or a toggle, and same goes for a strategy. So if I enable, for example, let me just go ahead and so here's a sample, I don't know, a macro solver, and here I'm adding the strategy, and here are the parameters of this strategy that I can fiddle with, so fast, slope, period, and stuff. So if I go ahead, and so right now if I go to strategies, this strategy is on, and if I go ahead and have a look at so let me just remove this one. So this is a strategy I just put on, and I need to enable it. I can do that like this. So now it's enabled, and you can see the markers that are plotted there. That's what I was talking about in the data series. So right here, I can actually see there are blue and magenta. So blue are the buys, magenta is the sells. You can change that, and text and marker is plotted. So the text is actually this part here, and this is the marker, the arrow. Okay. So basically now I can enable and disable the strategy from here. I can also access strategy parameters from here. Sorry, I have to disable the strategy in order to edit its parameters, right? So if I actually enable it and go ahead into the strategy and look, they're all disabled. So I can actually double click it like that, and I can also do that for any parameter here. So I double click the enabled. This is the same enabled as here. So I apply, it becomes active, and now I can change, well, the period or whatever, and I can enable it from here. Okay, so that's actually one of the like the concepts. Now tools, one more window you will need is the output window, which we'll be using a lot for debugging purposes, right? So when you design your strategies, you need somewhere some kind of window that you'll output values into and check them, and this is going to be your output window. And the last window that we probably talk about in this small lecture is the actual. So if you go tools, edit ninja script, and just go ahead and open up any indicator that's there, and all you need this one is actually for this, using this compile button right here. So basically we're going to be working in Visual Studio, and we will be editing our code in using Visual Studio. We're not going to go into this beautiful I don't know, this, well, whatever this is, right? I don't know, editor. We're not going to use it at all. So we're going to edit our code inside Visual Studio and build it using Visual Studio, and then open up an indicator and just click compile in order for changes to take place inside Ninja. So it gives you this beautiful sound, might give you some errors and stuff. So this is important to know that you're gonna need this button, and you also need like your references right here. So if you're gonna be adding any DLLs, you're gonna have to reference them separately using this reference window. Okay, but we'll get to that. But this is just an excursion, so you know. And so overall, that's about it for. So this is the infrastructure that we're going to be using most of the time. And in the next lecture, I'll just talk a little bit about the replay, and that's about it. And we'll start coding.